Today is PSA Reveal Day. I have in front of me a couple stacks and a box. This box is kind of a new thing. I've never seen a box like this come from PSA. These were in smaller boxes that are just the same as the ones I've always seen. But if you look at this one, it's quite large. Maybe, well, I don't know. We can count, but this is maybe a 50. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41. Yeah, I think it's about 50. It's kind of hard to count because they're so snug in there. But I will probably have to do this video in 2 parts because I only have like half an hour to record, and then I actually have to run to the post office to drop off packages that were ordered in the last couple days from hotcardboard.com, my online sports card shop. So, okay, I don't know where I put it, but previously in a video I had mentioned that I had done a sort of breakdown of the the grade percentages of this order, and it was basically like 55% were gem mint 10s, 40, like 1 or 2% were PSA 9s, and then like just a couple cards were maybe 3 were PSA 8s. So that's a gem. So the gem rate is 55 point whatever percent, meaning roughly half the cards we're going to see are going to be PSA 10s, and I felt like in a normal order I would say that's really low. For me, usually I look to get like 70%, give or take. Sometimes it's maybe like 69%, sometimes it's like 75%. Gem mints. So if this were an order where every card I submitted I felt like really should be a 10, that 55% would be super low, but there were actually a good number of Ohtanis in there. I feel like maybe one other, I can't remember if there was another player who I had a lot of submitted in this order, but there were a lot of Ohtanis. I really have never graded a large quantity of Ohtanis. I've sent some smaller groups in, but I've never gone through all of my Ohtanis and submitted like everything that I think is worth submitting. So that's what I did here, and that means that there were a number of cards I felt like were likely to be PSA 9s, but that were still worth getting graded because in PSA 9 they were worth a good bit more than their raw counterparts. So I don't know, maybe this is a 79 card order, so maybe, I don't know, like 10 cards I felt like should have been 9s. If we take those out, then the gem percent goes up significantly. Maybe it gets to 65% or something. I don't know, I haven't done the math, but anyways, that's my explanation of the gem rate of this order. So let's see, I'll kind of keep the stack off camera so you can't see what's next, and let's just go through each card. I think we're going to see a lot of Ohtani. So now, interestingly, this card was one I was pretty sure was going to be a 9 because it's a little off center, and I generally only expect gem mint 10 if things are like perfectly centered, and I actually am really good at telling like which cards are centered perfectly. I mean, I have eyes, right? But some people find it harder than others to judge centering, but whatever about my eyes and brain, I can tell if a card is dead center or if it's like 2% off. I can tell very easily. So this one, is clearly off left to right to me. It's kind of hard to see unless the card is shifted around a little bit. But anyways, this one was kind of a shock to me. I've not looked at any of these, so when I say shock, I mean like right now, I'm shocked that this got a 10, but it did. So that's nice. You know, it's always a great surprise when you send in something that you thought was just certain to be a 9, and then it gets a 10. But I'm sure there'll be plenty of cards in here. I'm like, why is that not a 10? So this will make up for one of those, I guess. Put that right there. By the way, this is a rookie card of Shohei Ohtani, the 1983 design subset of 2018 Topps Update is what that's from. So that's actually a pretty nice card. Any rookie card logo card of Shohei Ohtani in a PSA 10 is a pretty big win. Okay, this is another one. I felt like there was no way it was getting a 10, so I'm actually very happy it got a 9 and not an 8. This one is really pretty badly off center, so I think a 9, is a great grade because it says everything but that centering is, perfect. So this is I consider this to be a really nice win. These Topps Chrome Refractor 83 designs are, pretty valuable. In Gem and 10, this would be a super nice card, but even in a 9, this refractor is really nice. So 2 big wins to start off with. That's nice. Yeah, this is probably another one that, I think basically anything that was a rookie card of Shohei Ohtani that did not have like a gigantic clearing problem that was going to get at a PSA 8 or below, I sent in. Because graded as a PSA 9, this card I'm pretty sure is more valuable than a raw card. So there's I think there's quite a few examples of these in this submission. Again, justifying the gem rate that I got. So again, this is something I'm very happy with, this 9. This black and white is a parallel. So, it's a Gem Mint 9 parallel rookie card of, one of the hottest players in the game right now, or as of last year. Alright, this, now these cards don't really, justify the grading price if they're not going to be Gem Mint 10. They probably sell for like, I don't know, maybe like $10 raw and maybe like $15 as a PSA 9, and the grading cost is $15. So if you send this kind of card in and you get a PSA 9, you've just wasted your money. Luckily, I got a PSA 10. So for those of you who don't know, these rookie debut cards, they say rookie debut, are cards that come in the annual Topps flagship update sets, which come out, they're the last kind of Topps flagship product to come out each year. They usually contain, some rookies that are not in any of the earlier Topps products, and they also contain rookie debut cards of basically everybody who's, played in the season to that point, with the exception, of course, of, guys who are just called up and not, able to get into this set in time. So these rookie debut cards are generally considered to be, considerably less valuable than just the regular rookie cards from Topps flagship, so they're not nearly as valuable. However, if you get a player who's as good as like Ohtani or Soto or Acuna, then the value of the rookie debut cards, is high enough to warrant sending in for grading. So that's what I did with a number of these. There should be a number of more of these, but I had probably, I don't know, 6 or 7 or 8 of these, and I probably pulled, just a couple of them, a couple, 2, 3, to send in. And so those are cards where you have to get a 10, or you've, lost money on the grading process, and where I was particularly picky in what I sent in. So this, I have to say, is a huge win. This card I pulled myself out of, I think this comes out of like small version of Select. I really didn't open a whole lot of 2020, but this was, you know, a pretty cool card to pull, and not something I really thought about grading, except, you know, when PSA did their grading special for $15 a card. I sort of went through, you know, everything I had of star players, and, you know, anything that was like numbered or a fairly rare parallel. If it looked good, I was like, well, you know, that certainly would be more valuable in a 10 than raw. So this is a pretty big win. This card was just sitting around, you know, in a box of stars for the longest time. It's numbered to 49, so it's quite low numbered. And I love Select cards, so that's really cool. I'm excited about that one. So far, this is a great submission. I'm wondering when the shoe is going to drop, but we'll find out. All right, so yeah, so this one I pulled myself as well, and I really like Rose Namajunas. I think she's pretty cool. So I hung on to this card, you know, after I pulled it back in 2019. Might have been 2020 when I opened this, but you know, again, going through my box of like higher end, you know, hits, stars, I saw this and it seemed pretty clean, so I was like, oh yeah, why not send that in? And that PSA 9 is perfectly good. This is a, you know, thick card. This, you know, these holders are for the thick cards. You can see compared to the thin, how thick it is. The thick cards are really notoriously difficult to grade, and so unless you basically pull that right out of a pack, ensure it's perfect and make sure it's treated like perfectly, it's very tough to get a 10 on these cards, but I have done it. I've sent in quite a number of like Topps Inception cards that were autographs or autograph patch cards, and gotten a good number of 10s on those. But this one, like I said, I pulled it and it kind of sat around in my, you know, box of star cards for a long time, and you know, that can lead to some very slight corner wear on the thick cards, because it's basically like, you know, a cubic corner in there, and can get damaged easily. So anyways, I'm perfectly happy with this. I mean, to have this encased as a 9 and it is really nice, I think, piece. So that's another, there's again a lot of cards in here. I'm perfectly happy with the 9. This is another really good example of that. Pulled this myself out of a box of Obsidian that I got from my distributor way back in the day. Sat in a box of star cards for a long time. And, you know, Ronaldo has been pretty popular. It has his soccer generally since 2019, so I figured it was time to maybe think about sending this one in, and if I could get a 9, great. If I got a 10, fantastic, but a 9 is perfectly, you know, solid grade for one of these thick cards that's been sitting around in my collection for a while. This one is numbered to 75, so yeah, perfectly happy with a 9 in this case. It's really like, you know, those pro debut cards, or other kind of really low-end cards that you just have to get a 10 on, or you're gonna be underwater with the grading fees. It's getting 9s on those. That's really a downer, because it, you know, it basically means you wasted money. Which, hey, you know, you waste all money all the time in sports cards, so it's not crazy, but it is disappointing. So this is a really cool one. And this is probably one of those cards that you have to get a 10 on for it to be worth anything. I'm actually kind of shocked it got a 10 regardless, because these decal edge cards, you know, every little nook and cranny on the edge there is theoretically a corner that can be, you know, dinged, and they can count that against you. So it's probably, I would bet that this card in a 10 is a very low pop, and I bet it might be just a low pop card generally, you know, a card that very few great examples exist of, just because people are afraid to send it in, and also it's relatively low value, so sometimes people don't necessarily think to send this kind of card in. So I'll be interested to see what the pop chart looks like on this, how many 10s there are and how many overall have been graded. But very happy to get this card in a 10. You know, as a raw card, this is worth, you know, very little. As a 10, I suspect the deckled edge nature of it may make the 10s, particularly valuable. So very excited about that one. And so far, really happy with this order. Although I think, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe so. Let's see. I want to see what like the count is so far. 9, 9, 10, 10, 9, 9, 10. So I think that's dead even. So right now it's like dead even. Nope. No, yeah, that's right. 4 and 4. So we get 4 and 4 so far. So 50% gem rate on what we've seen so far, and in fact, the gem rate for the order is 55%. So we actually are going to see a greater ratio of gem and 10s to non-gem and 10s moving forward in this order. And speak of the devil, there's another 10 just in time, right? What are the odds this order gets delivered the day after this young man, wins his second Super Bowl in 4 years? And it's a PSA 10. This is super cool. I'm super psyched. I pulled this. I'm pretty sure I pulled this on a video when I opened maybe a hanger box of Prestige. I'll have to go look that up. And I thought, oh, that's kind of a cool card. I think I got another good player, like maybe Trevor Lawrence or somebody. I think it was Joe Burrows who I got another, which is funny because they're sort of arch nemesis. But yeah, super excited about this because I have very few Patrick Mahomes cards, that are graded or that are semi-decent, and this certainly is a pretty good one. This Heroes insert set, I think it is pretty well received in the hobby. People like these cards. That's kind of why I decided to send this one in, and it seemed pretty fresh. So yeah, super excited about this one. Very cool. Here's another one where a PSA 9 of this card is barely worth the cost of grading. Maybe it's a $15 or $20 card as a PSA 9, but as a PSA 10, this is, I think, boy, when he was at the peak of his value, as he was on his way to 62 home runs last year, this card was probably a $250 card. I think if you sold this today, it might be right around $100 as a PSA 10, but ungraded, it's probably, a $10 or $15 card. So the premium of a PSA 10 for this is gigantic, and the premium of the PSA 10 over the PSA 9 is also quite significant, such that if you get a 9, you're gonna maybe make back your grading fees, and that's it. Which I guess is better than losing, being underwater. So, but anyways, this, a low sort of, or I don't know what to call this, a low rent card. This is just a paper base card. Out of Bowman, there's so many of these, but this is a card where you really have to get a PSA 10 or you're in trouble. So again, I had quite a number of these, and I was quite careful about what I sent in. So only the best ones went. So I'm glad to see that my picks of those were accurate. And again, the cards we have to get a 10 on to really, preserve the value put into the grading. We're getting 10s on generally, and everything that's been a 9 has been stuff where it's either I expected a 9 or I'm totally fine with a 9. And, again, here we go. So 3 of these sent in, 3 of them got 10s. That's really great. That's really great news. So here's one of the very small number of PSA 8s. We did not get any PSA 7s, which is good. Sometimes you get like a 6 or a 7, and you're just like, what the F? But this one, yeah, I don't know. This one I kind of was one I barely even wanted to send in because it's a second year card. It's not a rookie. It really has to be a PSA 10 to have any kind of significant value, and even then, it's probably like a $40 card because it's a second year card. So this is a silver pack card. It comes in those little silver packs that are now included in the boxes of Topps flagship, and you get like 3 cards, and they're all this Mojo refractor design. So yeah, this was one I gambled on and lost heavily. I don't know what I might have missed on here, but I'm kind of shocked it's an 8 instead. I kind of feel like you know, they can't give you all 9s and 10s, or you might get the idea that they're easy, and then you won't appreciate them. So you know, that one, it's like, okay, as a 10 it's a $40 card. As an 8 it's basically worthless. The swing is not too, you know, it's not too significant. So if I have to get an 8 on something, I'd rather get an 8 on like a second year kind of totally worthless card, as opposed to, you know, a card that where the swing between a PSA 10 and 8 is like, you know, maybe $100 or so, like that one. So yeah, I mean, again, just everything's going really nice with this order so far, but you know, we're a long way from done. So, oh man, this is another really cool win. This is one, you know, again, I had this sitting around for a long time, hadn't really graded my lower end Shoheis. Felt like it wasn't, you know, it's not perfectly centered, but it's pretty close, and everything else looks clean. So send it in. If it's a 9, great. It's still a good card to have as a 9 compared to raw. So to get a 10, huge victory right there. Very nice. Wow. I have to say, you guys, I swear to God, every single 2018 Bowman's Best card I have ever sent in, and this is like, I pulled like multiple numbered, colored, autographed Fernando Tatis Jr. cards. Sent those both in, both gemmed. I sent in already a bunch of Shohei Ohtani, just base, regular, you know, base rookie refractors, and like some like atomic parallels. Every single one got 10. I have like, you know, I already have like, I don't know, 6 or 7 or 8 graded Ohtani cards from the 2018 Bowman's Best set, and this is a set that I bought like a case of, opened it all pretty much, and just had a ton of cards of sitting around for a long time, and then I realized, oh wow, so a lot of these are pretty valuable. So I've sent in like a bunch of the Acuñas, a bunch of the Sotos, and I don't think I've ever gotten anything less than a 10, so that set has got to be one of my favorites of all time. I still think I have a couple of unopened boxes of this stuff, so maybe I should open them and see, because, you know, I feel like everything I pull out of there is going to be a PSA 10 if I want to grade it. So it's like, I don't know, it seems like everything is just much more valuable from it, given the grading performance. So really happy about this. This is just a base par producers, because they're all refractors. They did not make a non-refractor version of this card, but still, you know, this is the kind of card you sell on eBay and you say refractor because it is, and then, you know, it sort of gets more attention. But really cool card. This is a card that's probably a, you know, a $5 card ungraded, but graded it might be a $60-$70 card. So really, as a 10, I should say. So super happy about that one. I think I have some other Bowman's Best cards of him, maybe from this Power Producers set, maybe from some other subset. I think I had an atomic variation of this that was graded PSA 10 a long time ago with the batch of Ohtani cards I sent in quite a while ago. Here's a, you know, another sort of good example of a card you really have to get a 10 on, or it's just not worth the price of grading. This is a second year rainbow foil card that, you know, sold raw. This is maybe a $5 card, but as a PSA 10, you know, I suspect this maybe is a $50 card. So again, this is a rainbow foil parallel of his 2019 base card with the nice little rookie logo on there. So yeah, I mean, this was just sitting around in a box for many years from when I would have pulled it from a pack in 2019. And I thought, hey, it looks pretty clean, let's send it in. So to get a 10 on that is really cool. Dang, this one I was hoping would be a 10, because I bet the swing is pretty significant between the 9 and the 10. But yeah, this is another kind of lower end, but still pretty cool parallel version. This is a optic bronze, which came, I think, from the optic mega boxes that had, you know, a number of bronze hollows in each box. And I was lucky enough to pull a Shohei probably back in 2018 when I opened these. And so again, this is a card that's, you know, stuck around in my collection for a long time. And so would have been really awesome to get a 10 on this, but a 9 is perfectly, you know, perfectly reasonable for what this card is and, you know, has been through since I pulled it from the pack. So, you know, pretty pleased with this one. And I kind of feel like I saw something on this that suggested it was not going to be a 10, but, you know, with this order, I figured, you know, I'm sending lots of stuff that I think is fine to get a 9 in, and so that would have been one of them. This is another one that kind of, you know, I felt like it was not, like, perfectly centered, and maybe had, like, one or two things that I saw, you know, in terms of, like, chrome lines or something, so it's a beautiful card. These Bowman Sterling continuity cards from 2018 Bowman Chrome are really cool looking cards, and this is a rookie year card, so it's very nice for that reason. Yeah, you know, having a 9 is a premium, and it's a pretty, you know, it's sort of a mid-tier card. It's probably raw. This probably goes for $20, $30, $40. As a PSA 9, I'm guessing it's probably like an $70 card, $80 card. As a PSA 10, I'm sure it'd be like over $100. I would guess. I don't know. I haven't really looked at Ohtani prices, so I'm just totally guessing based on, like, I don't know, values of Acuñas and Sotos and stuff that I've probably looked at more recently. Here we have the base version of that card we saw earlier in this video that was black and white. So this is just the regular card. Again, this is one I can, you know, clearly see is off center, and would not have sent this card in if I felt like I had to have a PSA 10 in it to make my money back. So again, I think I was expecting a 9 on this, and that's exactly what I got. So perfectly happy with another, you know, encapsulated Ohtani rookie card. I'm ready for that 2023 baseball season and all the Ohtani collectors to come online. Love it, man. I've got so many of these right now in PSA 10. I feel like this card just came gem mint, you know, every single time you got it. And this one actually, so this one, the fact that I had not graded this earlier, because I generally graded this card a while ago, if I felt it was a 10 clearly, and, you know, I got 10s on all of those that I've sent in earlier. This one was off center left to right, and you know, because I felt like it's so easy to find this card in perfect centering, you know, this was just not something I would send in unless I felt like getting a 9 was worth it, and that's kind of where the point, you know, I reached when I sent this batch in. So I thought this was going to be a 9. I did not think it was going to be a 10, and I got a 10, so that's you know, a huge win. I think any of these sort of lower end Ohtanis that I sent in, I generally thought many of them were going to be 9s, but and I was fine with that. So another huge score here. This card, I pulled so many of these because I opened a lot of 2018 Bowman, and this card was like worth absolutely nothing, despite the fact that Shohei Ohtani was, you know, just very hot commodity back then, really, because you know, he was highly touted as a two-way, you know, player who was really dominant in Japan, and people were excited about, you know, that happens a lot with, like, Japanese free agent signings. So there was a lot of, you know, attention around him, but yet this card was still just a pretty low-end card, just a base paper rookie. When he was kind of at his height of popularity, like, I feel like it was sometime, you know, last season, these cards were going for $300 in PSA 10s. So I thought, wow, I better get them graded then. So I sent a couple of these in that I felt were pretty good. I did not send these in if I thought they were going to be PSA 9s, but I did send them in if I felt like they had a solid chance at 10. So I'm expecting 10s on any card like this that's like super low end, like paper, you know, paper rookie cards or like those rookie debut cards from Topps. This is another sweet pull. This card's a little bit off center, but again, I felt like as a PSA 9 this was worth grading, so I sent it in for that reason. So comes back a PSA 10, and I'm a very happy camper. I just have about 5 more cards, and I gotta wrap this video, so I'm not gonna make it. So I'm not gonna make it to that larger box. This is another card I felt like was fine as a PSA 9. Left to right centering is pretty far off, so I would not expect this to get a 10, and I would, you know, I was very pleased with the idea of having a 9, and that's what I got. So another just, you know, as expected card right there. This one's kind of funny. I mean, so this cryptocurrency card is kind of stupid. It's, you know, from 2018 Allen and Ginter. It has been, you know, worth quite a bit since basically like 2020, you know, when like sort of people tried to find any excuse to, you know, get excited about a card, and, you know, the blow up of cryptocurrency that happened about roughly that time. I mean, there's been a few kind of blow up periods for cryptocurrency, but whatever, there was one going on at the same time the card boom was going on, and this card got super valuable, and I pulled one that I had set aside in a box a long time ago, and found it when I was looking for cards to grade. It's funny because cryptocurrency, you know, like has crashed recently. It's kind of fighting its way back up right now, but I suspect maybe that's got people thinking this is not such a great card to have, but hey, as a 10, pretty sweet. I think as a 10, this card probably was like a $500 or $600 card at some point. I don't know what it's worth now, or if there's any real excitement around it anymore, but I'm excited to have a 10, I'll tell you that. Alright, this is really cool. This is another card that you kind of have to have a 10. It's a, you know, I think this is, no, okay, it's not numbered. I thought it was going to be numbered. But this is like a retail, you know, retail pink parallel of a second year Ohtani insert. So, you know, ungraded, this is maybe a $2 card. As a PSA 9, maybe it's a $10 card. As a 10, you know, maybe it's a $30, $40 card. So that was kind of a gamble sending in, but luckily that one paid off. It's another, you know, pretty low end card, second year, just base insert out of Topps Finest 2019. Again, you know, this is a card where I looked at it and I said, okay, it just looks perfect condition wise. So, you know, I think it's got a pretty, you know, we'll say a 70% chance of gemming, and as a gem in 10, it's probably worth, you know, a bit more than the grading, so why not send it in? And, you know, it paid off. I honestly, this card might not be worth like $20, even as a 10, but it's probably worth $15, which would have cost me to grade it, so this one I really hope I get a 10 on. This is a 2017 Bowman's Best, just base rookie card of Aaron Judge. So this has been sitting around my collection since 2017 when I opened this stuff, and it looked clean enough. A 10 would be really awesome. Dang, so we missed, but that's okay. This card again has been sitting around in my, you know, boxes for a long time, so a 9 is perfectly understandable, and would have loved to have a 10 Judge, mostly because I barely have any Aaron Judge cards that are graded. I think we might be seeing some more of those Judge cards in the second part of this PSA reveal, because I feel like I sent in, you know, any Judges that I could justify sending in. Alright, so another 2021 Prestige insert that I think I got in that same box that I got that Mahomes in, and sure enough, this one got a PSA 10, so pretty awesome. Couple of hits out of that Prestige that I opened. It's pretty tough to find cards, you know, worth anything out of Prestige, so to get 2 that did really well grading wise, and that now probably are worth, you know, I don't know, $30, $40 a piece is pretty sweet. So I'm excited about that. I don't think I have a single graded Trevor Lawrence card. That's what we got today, folks. I hope you are all doing fantastic. Thanks so much to everybody who joined for the live stream that I did on Super Bowl evening. That was, I have to say, that was really fun. I left that stream thinking, man, that was like, I should do that all the time. That was super fun. And there was like a ton of people there. You know, we had like 75 people watching, I think, at the height. I may have been higher. I didn't really check it like constantly. I wish there was a way it could show me. I'm sure there is. You know, the number of people in there at all times, but just a ton of people commenting, and we opened up a bunch of stuff that people bought, which was really fun. And I think actually, I was thinking, like, I have all these cards that I need to find a way to give away, because I don't want to get rid of them. And I was thinking, like, hey, why not just, like, you know, do a bunch of giveaways to people that buy stuff on stream. Like, if you buy a box or something, then you get, like, you know, 1 or 2 cards from the freebie pile or something like that. I think would be fun way to kind of, you know, acknowledge those people that that are kind enough to buy something while we do a stream, and then I can open it, and, you know, everybody can enjoy it together. So I'm thinking of ways to maybe make that a little, you know, smooth, a little more smooth of a process to do that. But I don't know, it might have to just be old school. Like, if you buy something, you know, you tell me what your favorite team is, and I'll go dig up some cards from the free pile and include them in your order or something like that. But looking forward to doing more of that. Thanks to everybody who joined. Hope everybody's doing fantastic. We will see you all for part 2 of this, and we got a really cool hobby box of basketball that I'm going to break for a customer soon, probably next video, unless I do the part 2 of this right there. But I do have to record that video, and yeah, got lots of new stuff coming to the site. So look forward to telling you about that, and we will see you all next time. Have a great one. Bye now.